Thank you for listening to the Real and Raw podcast. For more information, you can find us at inspiringhope.org.au or join the mailing list. Journey with us as we aim to inspire the hope of Jesus from generation to generation. We are praying for you. Have a blessed day.
Well, good morning, Jessica.
Good morning, Jen.
I was getting ready this morning and I was just thinking of you and the day, and into my mind came Jumbo, Jessica.
Oh,
remember all the African ladies?
Yes, I remember.
Because Jumbo goes well with Jessica.
Jumbo Jessica.
Yes.
I remember that. And I remember them also, these little boys were jumping up, going like, good afternoony.
Yeah,
like this.
Good afternoony.
Yeah. Oh,
and one time they were like, good afternoon, madame. And we didn't respond because we were in deep conversation. And they're like, sir, good afternoon, sir. Because they must have been practicing their English. And we're like, no, it's madame. Yeah, they were so cute.
I remember that.
Yeah,
wow.
Trying to get our attention.
How did you remember that? That was a long time ago now.
I know, it was many years ago. Time is flying. Mm-hmm. And speaking of time, we are here in your beautiful, stunning home with your beautiful, stunning Christmas tree and all your beautiful decorations that might not be here when I leave. She said, make yourself at home. And I'm like, does that include like
she's pocketing baubles?
Half your Christmas decorations. So we are going to be talking and making and baking all things Christmas.
Yes, I'm so excited about doing these episodes. Christmas it's so much fun.
It is so much fun.
And I'm loving our twin jumpers.
We're twinning.
So Christmas.
Yes.
You will bring yours out later.
I'm bringing mine out a little bit later, but I also love Christmas. I have always loved Christmas since I was a little girl. But before we get into that, we should talk about, we're going to talk about lots of different things about Christmas. But one of the things that I would like to start with is that I feel like our mugs and our tea selection today just reflects our brain space today. So I don't know about you, Jess, but I have completely overcommitted myself like times 100. Are you in the same boat?
Oh, exactly the same.
Yes.
Exactly the same. I keep saying, we'll just get through this weekend and then we'll be right. And it's just the same on repeat every day until January.
Until January.
Yeah.
So I am drinking, I think this is for one of Jess's girls, her initial, but I've got this beautiful cup. This actually looks like it's not Abercrombie and Finch. What's the other American store? It starts with Anthropologie.
Oh, Anthropologie.
They have the most beautiful things. This is an Anthropologie knockoff.
Totally.
It's not an Anthropologie nug.
No.
But because we don't bring Anthropologie to Australia if anyone in that world is watching.
And Nordstrom.
And while we're at it, Banana Republic. Thank you.
Yes.
That's our Christmas wish.
That's a good wish.
Yeah, it is a great wish.
Yeah.
But I am drinking peppermint and licorice tea.
Yes.
And it's actually gone a little bit cold. And I reckon you could do this as a cold tea. We're going to do that for the Make, Bake, Create segment. And you could even just put some lemon slices in it. Would just elevate it a little bit.
Beautiful idea.
Yeah. What have you got?
I have the same actually.
Oh,
so Annabelle
twinning.
had a different one, but we both have the peppermint and licorice. And I don't know if you've tried this before, but today's my first time trying this one.
I have not.
Wow.
So, and we've got matched mugs.
Mine also
matched
is.
mugs.
Mine is from Coles, this mug.
I don't know where this is from.
I can't remember.
But
it was a gift.
It is dishwasher safe and microwavable. So
yes,
there you
that's
go.
It. Yes.
But I feel like our cups and our tea are a reflection of our mental state. And you know, girls, we're going to have a a real and raw conversation about the other side of Christmas. Okay, so there's all the beautiful parts of Christmas, and that's what we want to focus on. But in order to focus on them, I think that we have to be real and raw about some of the difficult parts of Christmas. So we've got 5 little questions that we think will be helpful to you girls who are listening. And the first one, Jess, is when Christmas hurts. Now, Christmas is one of those occasions in life where it's just all in, right? Society's all in. So it's everywhere. It's in the shops, it's in the petrol station, it's at your kid's school, it's in everyone's home. We've got the lights and it's beautiful. That's a beautiful part of the Australian culture. And there's many parts of the world that celebrate Christmas. Not everyone does, but many parts of the world do. And when my mum passed away, I remember we had to face this reality of the year of firsts. And so she passed away in May, and then the first thing was like my brother and my birthday. So you have to do a birthday without your mum. Then it was her birthday and my dad's birthday. And then here comes the looming Christmas. Now, Christmas in particular is a big one because particularly for your mum, for many of us, the mum is Christmas. You know,
Absolutely.
we're the ones who decorate the tree, get all the decorations, plan the menu, plan the gifts, generally speaking, okay? I'm not leaving anyone out, but and it's a huge hole when you have lost a loved one, not just your mum. If you've lost a loved one, I think also when your children may have transitioned from home, and so the generations and the family time gets split, and then, you know, if you're the second generation like us, then you have to deal with, you know, I think almost the guilt of, you know, not just going to your parents. You've got a husband's parents and a husband's family now.
Absolutely.
And then I think the third one that comes to mind is when the generations split. So my cousins, my Auntie Val's boys, they're a lot older than me. So they all got married first, and all of a sudden they had wives who had families, and then the generational split. So Christmas Day was no longer Christmas Day as we knew it. It became Boxing Day. And now, all these years later, it's become, you know, the big curry Christmas that many of you will see on my social media. But going back to my mum, I just think for me and the way that I do things, Jess, is I had to just be real and raw in the moment. And I do remember the first Christmas without my mum, and hopefully she's listening to this, but I lived with my dear childhood friend Shani, and Shani. She is like an angel. And she always went home for Christmas. And this is going to make me a bit emotional. And she had lost her dad a few years before. Wow. So this shows how important it is to surround yourself with the right people. And I remember that Christmas, she always went home a few days before to be with her mum. Her mum lived just up past the Central Coast. And she said, Jen, I'm going to stay home this Christmas so you and I can do Christmas morning. Wow. And so that you can just wake up and we can have a special moment. And she did that. And she made breakfast. And I just remember there was this time at the table. We had this little dining room table in our little unit in Quakers Hill. And I just remember sort of looking at each other and having a few tears. And Shani is just... like, she's so good in those moments because she is the type of person who is able to embrace an awkward situation. So she'll let you sit with it, but then she'll move you on. Okay, Jeanette, come on, you know. And I remember my mum had bought these poinsettia flowers many years ago before they became famous at a craft show. And she brings out this poinsettia plant. And I still have a cutting of that poinsettia plant in my garden. I've moved it from there to Raw Street to where I live now. And, you know, it just helped me to get through that moment. And then I had to put on my big girl panties, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I bring my mum into Christmas? You know, how do I remember her without it becoming overwhelming? Because now I have my own husband and my own daughter. And so my mum, well, my grandpa actually used to go, do you guys remember, you're from Goulburn, so I don't know if you had one of these actually, but Dara Lee used to have a stall. Like it used to be a shop. Okay, so in the big city, they would have shops, and they would have...
in the big smoke.
You know, like at the lint factory where you can go and pick the lint balls? They had one of those, and you could pick the wrapped chocolates. So this is going to show my age. Annabelle will know nothing about it.
I remember sort of it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay.
Wow.
So he would, and you'd get a paper bag, and it was paid by weight. And my grandpa, that was what he bought to Christmas, was a big thing of Dara Lee chocolates. And you would get like one chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. Like maybe two, but you would get one chocolate. That was it. And so my mum started that tradition when my dad died. But my mum really liked the old Rose's chocolate. Cadbury, if you happen to be watching this, please do us all a favour and bring back the old Rose's chocolate in the wrappers that you pull. We don't want to rip, we want to pull. Do I have any like sisters out there? You know, there's a big difference between pulling open a chocolate and ripping. Yeah. It's just the whole atmosphere. It's gone wrong. We want the pull, not rip. We'll do an episode on that later.
Okay. Yep.
And
write
so
that down.
my mum would bring the Rose's chocolates. So I buy the biggest tin of Rose's chocolates I can. And on Christmas Day, I just eat as many as I want. My mum's favourite was the Turkish Delight.
Mine too.
Yeah, so no one else is allowed those. B and Steve, I don't like Turkish Delight, so I'm all good.
Wow, good for you.
But other members of my family, my brother, he does like the Turkish Delight. So, you know, got to get in quick.
It's an arm wrestle.
But that's how I bring my mum in. And my dad, when he passed away, it's a Queensland drink. Do you know sarsaparilla?
Yes.
Okay, you know about it. Do you know sarsaparilla?
It's very familiar.
So sarsaparilla is a licorice flavoured based cola.
Yeah. I feel like it's almost that generation, your dad's generation,
Yes.
as well. It's more old-fashioned, isn't it?
It's very old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's a Queensland drink.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure. We'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah.
But the Bundaberg makes the sarsaparilla. So I buy sarsaparilla and I have a drink to remember my mum and dad. And so, you know, girls, I'll look at you for a minute. If this is a first Christmas, and I say this with great love and empathy for you, I really encourage you, in amongst the sadness, and I've touched on this before, grief is actually a beautiful thing because it means that you are remembering and feeling sad about something that was so beautiful to you that you lost, that is no longer. And so I encourage you, the reality is, the real and rawness of it is that it's going to be hard, okay? It is hard. The first is very hard. And you definitely notice that gap, but bring the memory, you know, bring the legacy into the gap and let it meet you there. And, you know, I have a little thing that I do. I don't know if you're allowed to say this in a public space like this, but, you know, my walk with the Lord is my walk with the Lord, and you have your walk with the Lord. But just ask God, you know, He's the creator of the universe. And sometimes when I really miss my mum and dad on days like this, I tell the stories, but I don't often talk about the realness and the rawness of it. I just have a specific place that I go. I won't tell you where that is. And I just ask God if He could just bring them to the edge of the heavenly realm, and that we could just see each other behind that veiled curtain or that veiled wall, whatever it is that separates, you know, earth from the heavenly realm. And yeah, I mean, I know not everyone will agree with this, and maybe it's just my own psyche. I just pressed my microphone and tapped it. Sorry, Annabelle. Maybe it's my own psyche, but I believe that they're there just for a moment. I believe that they're there, and I believe that they can see in this realm, and I felt their presence, and it gives me a great comfort. They're not always. I just specifically ask God. And so, you know, God is with us. That's Emmanuel. You know, that's the Christmas word. That's what the whole point of Jesus coming was, to be with us, to make a way home. To make a way home to the heavenly realm. So just ask Him for what you need, and He will meet you there, you know. And I just think that that's a really, even if it's just a thought, even if it's my imagination, I'll never know, but it brings me great comfort and it helps me get through. And I want to be real, that Christmas is beautiful and it's fun, and we're going to have some fun later, but it can also be tough. You know, it can be tough for a lot of people. So those are my little personal, you know, private thoughts. Bring them in, bring some traditions, and just ask God to be with you. Ask God to meet you in that moment, whatever that looks like for you. So what about, it's always hard to transition from something like that, but what about like generational? Like, you have grown up in a family that does the big Christmas, you know, at your parents'. How did you feel, like, well, it was probably a while ago now, but that first Christmas when you got married, how did you navigate that? You're very good at navigating things, but all of a sudden you're not waking up on the farm, you're waking up with your hubby, you know. You didn't have your girls yet, so that's further down the track. How did you manage that?
I do remember my first Christmas after I got married, and it struck me. And I think the main thing was that, you know, you're married. You've just been. I'd been married for most of the year, because I got married in January.
Yeah.
And so we had nearly a whole year before Christmas.
Yeah.
But when I remember our first Christmas, and leading up to Christmas, I remember not even wanting to decorate, and not even knowing how to. Like, I didn't even really have much of a excitement for it. So for me, I felt very just separate and maybe a little aloof or something. And I think it was because of my separation from my mum. And as much as my mum is alive and well and very present in my world, she really, I do understand the presence of a mother in Christmas. And so when I suddenly was in my own home, I was like, I don't have my mum with me.
Yeah.
And so I did definitely notice that Christmas was less exciting, or something about it was just missing. And it wasn't until a couple of years into having my own home and my own life that I started to actually get excited about Christmas again. Christmas for me was still where my family was.
Yeah.
And for me, finding my family is always what brings me home. And I remember when my grandmother, she actually passed away when I was pregnant with my eldest daughter. And so she passed away in April, and I had my daughter in June, and then we had our first larger family Christmas without her. And that was very noticeable as well. And so for us, though, when I look around at that greater family Christmas that we have, that's with all my dad's siblings, my dad's dad, and then all of their kids. And now we've got a third generation of kids, and there's a lot of us. I think last year there was about 80 of us.
Wow.
All together. And it's amazing because as much as she's passed away and is dearly missed, she's so much there.
Yeah.
And everything that
present.
she's created and everything that she is. And so I do feel like when it comes to like separating from family, or just when you're at uni and you're a long way away from your family, I think that there is something in seeing Christmas through your mum's eyes and looking at what you've got and who you've got and really connecting with each other over what you're thankful for and what you've got. I feel like that can really lift a person, and I wish that I saw that back when I was first married, because I think there was a little bit of grief there. And, we'd still come for lunch and everything on Christmas Day, and that was where the fun Christmas really was. But it probably wasn't until I had kids that I started to make Christmas my own and have that mother's eyes. I think we all can have mother's eyes, whether we're mothers or not, and we get to do that with our own people.
That's really beautiful, and I think it's really timely for this episode and this time of year. And I'm seeing the time go, but I think this is a really, really important. I think it's a really important question to discuss because, girls, I don't want your Christmas to. I don't want your Christmas to be robbed, because the other thing, the Bible talks about, and this isn't meant to be a, negative thing, but no one knows, we're not to worry about tomorrow. And we don't know how many days we're given, and we don't know if this is going to be somebody's last Christmas or not. Like, there's lots of people dealing with health, and all those things. So make the most of it in your own way, and like you said, make it your own. And I think that is really important, and we can move on to the next question, but make it your own. Be where you're at. I have been in ministry now for a long time, like 20 years. My first job was at KFC, and I did a bit of corporate work for them, but that was it. I haven't had any sort of corporate job. And when I first started ministry, I didn't have any money. And so I just had to make a decision to make Christmas what I could make it. It's not about, and this is a great segue into our next little question we've got here, the weight of giving. And I've just written, the best gifts can't be wrapped. They're given in love, time, and presence. And it was interesting, I was just sharing that story with Shani. Like, that is probably one of the most meaning and beautiful gifts that I've ever been given. Her just sacrificing some of her Christmas Day to be in my Christmas Day.
Oh, I mean, what a beautiful friend.
What a beautiful friend.
And to do that, like, that's a lifetime memory. Like, you will remember that every single time.
I do.
Yeah, every Christmas.
Yeah. And when I think about Shani in particular, like, a lot of what I remember about her is her presence, I remember another time we were going to Africa and she stayed up the whole night because I was overcommitted and had left myself no time to pack. And here is my friend washing, getting my clothes dried, getting them folded, getting them in the suitcase, running down to like Kmart or Coles to get my last minute things. Time and presence. It's so powerful. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most about our little Christmas tradition is we get to, a couple of times a year, we just go and we have dinner or lunch or whatever we can manage at the time. Yeah. And it's not about any of this. It's just you and me talking about life and family and dreams. And like the time always goes so fast.
Too fast.
But I treasure it, and I linger in those conversations with you for weeks after.
Me too. And I always just laugh at the idea of people in the surrounding tables listening in to our conversations, because we can go so deep.
Yes.
And we can talk about things that are like at the core of the human experience and everything around that. Yeah. And the next minute we'll be talking about some gossip podcast we've been listening to and some TikToker and just talking about all these different things, and then suddenly we'll just make a comment on our makeup or we just have such huge waves in our conversations. But again, it's we get to make our own rules, and we get to make our own community, and it's such a funny little time. It's a day, but everything around it is so meaningful and so heavy. And I've worked with people in faith coaching in my little business that I have, and there's some families that I've worked with where they've lost their mother and they have felt very robbed, and they dread Christmas, they dread counting down the days, they dread everything about it because they've lost the soul of what Christmas has been for them. And to now be in a position where, to see them come out the other side with their own family and to create their own traditions and to invite their missing person into the space and to allow the grief to be there and allow to see it as a love and a relationship, that person is very present there. And your mum and your dad are very present, and they do participate in your Christmas, in you, through you, and over you.
That's right. From
the day you were born. And it's the most beautiful concept is in the Hebrew way of looking at time. There's no past, present, and future in the Hebrew concepts. There is what is, and there is the what is not yet.
Yes.
And so if it was created, then it is. There is no finish.
Wow, that's so powerful.
It's so powerful. And when you look at the concept of eternal life and the human experience, the human experience goes on.
Yes.
You don't stop being a human after you die.
Yes.
You actually continue to exist.
Yes.
So what is what is. And that's why God says, I am.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's really powerful. And I really love what you said then, Jess. Make your own rules. And so, the first is hard. The second is hard. The 10th is hard. But we have to choose our hard. And I guess the reason I wanted to answer this question is I don't want you precious girls and your families to be robbed of another moment because something is hard. So it's a very big it's a very big concept, and it's a very big thing. And I'm not by any means, please don't think I'm saying push it under the rug. Is this a Miss Amara rug?
Yes, it is.
I had this rug under my table. We had the same rug. I had it under my dining table.
I'm not surprised.
But it was very high traffic, so it got wrecked.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
This is the example that I was just talking about.
This is where our heads are at, girls. Yes. This is the Real and Raw podcast, not the polished, over-edited version. So you're just getting us how we are. But I wanted to just move on to the weight of giving. Now, my mum actually, she was a real gift giver, and my love language is gifts. So I think I work actually in gifts. So when I go to the shops, I have some Japanese exchange students this past week. So we have done all the shopping, Jess. So we've done And all the Australian shopping, which is kind of cool to do as an Australian because it's interesting. These girls were teenagers and I couldn't believe, because I don't think of Australia like this, but they've been TikToking and Instagramming and they have screenshot our snacks like wave trips, black pepper, black label orange juice, Smith's chips, like not things that you
so
think
odd.
people would want to take back. But anyway, someone's obviously done some sort of...
I'm so fascinated by that.
I know, I really want to ask them where they got it. But anyway, and it had all the Japanese, they're showing me these pictures of snacks that they have researched that they've wanted to buy, right? So, but my mind works like that. So we're walking around Kmart and I'm like, oh, Jess would love this, or Annabelle would love this, or Steve-O would love this, or B would love this. That's how my mind works. You know, I got a little present for your mum. You know, Elle would like this. Like, that's how my mind works. The thing is, though, at Christmas, there is also a lot of expectation. And I have had to sit myself down and give myself a little talking to, Jess, about where that expectation is actually coming from. Ooh. So is that like actually there, or am I putting that on myself? So we've all got friends, well, I do especially, I'm sure you do, who maybe earn more than me or have a little bit more disposable income than me. Absolutely. And I have been very blessed over the years to receive some very beautiful gifts. Now, am I going to go into debt to try and match that? And I really want to talk about this because I think at Christmas, girls, I'm looking straight down the camera, what expectations are you putting on yourself? And we need to go back to what actually Christmas is about. You know, Jesus came and his gift was his presence. Presence, not Presents. If I've spelt that wrong, just be gracious. I did go to bed at like 3 o'clock this morning and I was in Goulburn at like 10:30. So, and let's be honest, I'm not a good speller. But Jesus gave us his presence.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know sometimes I listen to people saying this, oh yeah, but it's all right. No. We need to have a revelation of this because none of my friends are judging me by what present I give. And respectfully, I'm going to look down the camera again. If they are, find new friends. Like really, that's not the heart.
Absolutely.
I remember the year Stephen and I got married, everyone just got, not that baking actually is any cheaper,
True.
But I just did baking and I just gave everyone cookies in a jar because that's what we could afford.
I think that's a beautiful gift though.
Yeah.
And honestly, like what you were talking about with Jesus being being presence.
Yeah.
I think some of the best gifts that you can give somebody is how much presence you give that person when you're choosing a present for them.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah, beautiful.
And if you are thinking of, you know, somebody that's really special to you and who they are to you, you can start to get a bit of a feel about something that could be really meaningful for them.
Yeah.
And often it's a much simpler present and it can be something that means something more, and sometimes it doesn't have to cost anything.
Yeah.
I know, like I've got a present which I won't say who it's for because I'll give it away, but it's a gift that is some of her own photography that she has just started sharing with me. And I've done some editing on it and I've sent it away to be printed and I'll get them framed and then I'll give them to her, and it's her own work. And some of them are of her dog as well. And I just am so proud of that gift because I know that is something that she's going to cherish.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I've put my presence into her space and thought about her before buying the present, you know. So it is that kind of concept again, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that. Presence, so put your presence into the present And my little tidbit for you is manage your expectations, because where are the expectations coming from?
Oh, that's just so true. It's from ourselves. We
It
do that
is.
to ourselves. And
Yes.
how awful would you feel if your friend said to you, I've got you this gift, and then you find out later that they missed out on buying their own medication for the week, or buying their groceries for their kids, or, you know, they sacrificed something important because they've gone into debt to buy you a gift. A friend would never want that.
No, a friend would never want that. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is happening. You know, this
People
is
are
happening
doing
more
exactly that.
and more. And so presence in presence and managing your expectations. And, you know, sometimes we're in seasons where it's not even just about the money. Sometimes it's just about the time. And I have really gone back to trying to write beautiful, heartfelt, handwritten messages. So I've done that this year with all the gifts that I've given out. I've actually written to all my staff. I've written to all the board members, personally writing to them. And that has brought me more joy actually than any gift that I've wrapped or bought for them, because I'm like, I'm sitting down in that moment thinking about that person, and my heart is just to encourage them and remind them about the beauty that I've seen in them through this last year, you know.
I think that's a gorgeous idea.
I think it is too. So I also, though, Annabelle's going to do up a little gift cheat sheet for you, because on a lighter note, and as we move on, you know, to our last question for this little episode, I have also been guilty of being an overbuyer. If we had like a little chat and you could just raise your hand, is there anyone else who is an overbuyer? You can raise your hand, Annabelle. I don't know if Annabelle's an overbuyer. She's too organised.
Annabelle's just being nice to us by saying...
Annabelle's just supporting me. You know, like you should just help your leader out, do what they do. That's what Annabelle's doing. She's not an overbuyer. I can't imagine. Are you
Don't
an
worry,
overbuyer?
I'll be the overbuyer for all of us.
I can be an overbuyer when I can. I want to be an overbuyer when I can afford to be an overbuyer.
Yeah.
So some years I'm more of an overbuyer than others.
Yeah,
But
right.
I'm also an overmaker.
An overmaker.
I'll make way too much stuff and then I'll have to divvy it out to people.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's more so I don't buy too much, but it's like I spend money on the craft itself.
Yes, yes.
So in a way overbuying, but I still use it out of season.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just for Christmas, but I
Yeah.
do overmake, and then I have no time for myself. I overbook myself by making everyone's Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I've got
See?
no time for anything else.
And manage your expectations. Annabelle, did you write that down? Okay. So we're going to give you now. We want you to just sign up for our podcast. Where we're at, actually, a little episode plug is we've got to like 17 episodes, Jess. And so we want to try and understand a little bit more, because the amount of people that have listened and the amount of people have signed up. So we're just asking you to sign up to the email, or, you know, to like. And I used to get really frustrated when people did that, like they're plugging themselves. But now I understand. Now I'm doing it. Because then we can understand who our audience is, and we're starting to plan our content for next year. And so we want to meet our audience, Jess.
Yeah.
So you're only going to get this sheet if you've signed up, because if you haven't given us your little email, you won't get the sheet. So I have developed a little giving cheat sheet to help with my overbuying, Jess. So what you do is, well, no, I'm not going to tell you, because you've got to get the sheet. If I tell you the details, you'll just
They're going to
make
make
the
their
sheet.
own. They'll get on ChatGPT.
And you'll get on ChatGPT, and you don't have Annabelle to make your pretty one, because it's Pretty Things by Jen and Annabelle. So it's the gift cheat sheet, and what it does is it helps you to know who you've bought for, where you've put it, and what the gift is, and a couple of other things that I'm not going to tell you,
Because
then
don't give them away.
you won't have it all. I feel like doing like that. So that's a bit immature. So girls, that is going to help you to be organised with your gift giving. Because I have already realised this year that I don't know where I have put some of my gifts, and now I had to buy other gifts. So there you go. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
So you need the Real and Raw Jen Nolan Formosa cheat sheet. Now, lastly, I just want to talk about, I've got this here, the silent night that nobody talks about. So the Christmas season, again, finish where we started, is such an interesting season, because over my years of pastorally caring for people, I do not see at any other time of year the depression, the anxiety, and the emotional exhaustion that I see at Christmas. Now, the emotional exhaustion, part of that is just in Australia, we are also ending our year. So we are coming into our summer. So this is when we all have our break. So I was just saying to Jess, you might have to tie a rope around me and like literally drag me to the finish line this year. So if you see that, don't worry, it's all above board.
It's all approved.
But depression and anxiety at this time of year, how can we help our girls work through that?
Well, I mean, I think the big question for that is to ask, where does it come from?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, and just going, working with people as they appear in your world. I think for me, something I've really noticed as just through doing my work with the people in my church is that you often don't get anywhere unless you're in relationship with a person.
Yes.
And to be in relationship with somebody, you need to really listen to them and you need to know them, and you need to meet them where they're at with no judgment and also without any agenda to change them or to bring them out of how they're feeling.
Yeah,
for me, the best way that I can support someone is to just have empathy and to see the world through their eyes and to feel what they're feeling in a loving and understanding way. Often when you have conversations with people who are feeling that weight of Christmas, it is around that self-expectation and that pressure that they put on themselves to measure up to something, or they're feeling guilty about something or ashamed of something, or they're grieving something. And the best way that you can speak to somebody is through connecting with them and just saying and removing and helping them remove the guilt and remove the shame, and helping them to pivot and see their situation for where the life is, and look for where the life is with them. But also with zero pressure. I think, I've made many mistakes in the past with people that I've worked with, as we all do. And sometimes if I see somebody's situation with my opinion and my thoughts on their situation, it can make them feel worse, and it can make them feel judged, or maybe they don't want to come and spend time with you anymore because they feel pressure to change or to make decisions that they think you want them to make, and it just exacerbates the issue. So in this time, I think, especially in this time, working with people who are feeling that weight, no matter what it is, I think we just have to be very gentle and very understanding, and really help them to turn into you instead of giving them reasons to turn away from you and further isolate themselves. And if that's choosing to stay with a friend, or choosing to invite them into your home for Christmas, or choosing to spend time with them and give them a gift, or buy some gifts for their children if you know they're struggling for money, or, you know, trying to see the world through their eyes and help them with what's going on for them, not what you want them to do.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Not what you want them to do, but meeting people where they're at.
Yeah.
You know,
and sometimes we disagree with what they say they need, and that's a really hard one as well.
Yeah. I think, and I was sharing this with the girls before, I think that there is such a difference to preaching Jesus and being Jesus. And when I think about Jesus, he so often he just was. He was just in the moment, in the circumstance, and he met people where they were at. So if they were hungry, he fed them, you know, the feeding of the 5,000. If they needed healing, he healed them. If they needed to talk, he listened. And, you know, I think that that is so important, just being there for people, you know, and yeah, I just really want to end by saying, and this is our thing, like, girls, we serve a living God. You know, we love a living God, Jess. And he is aware already. He already is in Christmas Day. He knows what your Christmas Day is going to be like. He knows what your personal circumstances are, your financial circumstances, your family circumstances are, the pressures that you have, the year that you've had. And just Emmanuel, you know, I've got it, Stephen and I got it engraved on our wedding rings. It's just in the band so no one can see. It's not supposed to be a showy thing or a fashion thing, but deep within our marriage, the whole rock that we are built on is Emmanuel, and he is with us. And so, you know, beautiful, beautiful friend, you know, the sweethearts, the beautiful girls in our worlds and beyond, you know, God is with you. And he loves you. And yeah, he has a plan and a purpose for all of the parts of Christmas. And, you know, we have also a little devotional. So we're going to put them up on Insta. We're also going to send them to you daily, just for the 10 days for the lead up to Christmas. Now, I've written them, Jessica, so they take like 1 to 2 minutes. So it's like a 1 minute read and then like a 30-second prayer. But the thing that gets me through the craziness, and this is my testimony, this is my story, you can write it on my tombstone, her daily walk with the Lord, you know, and hearing the voice of the living God. That's what I want to leave you with. And this will actually be our last episode for 2025. So the Lord is with you and he loves you, and Jesus loves you. We're so glad that you have been with us, and we really look forward to you and to journeying with you in 2026. We're going to do something a little bit fun after this, but it will have a totally chaotic feel. But you know, from Jess and myself, I'm getting a bit emotional. And all of us, we just wish you a happy Christmas. And I wish I could be there and have you all at my table and take all of your worries and pain and difficulties, but I can't, but Jesus can. So girls, happy Christmas. Jesus loves you, and so do we. We'll see you in 2026.
We strive to inspire the hope of Jesus by building girls up generation to generation. Our hope is that you are inspired wherever you are in your walk with the Lord and in your life through this content. For additional information, you can find us at inspiringhope.org.au. We pray that you are blessed and encouraged by the Real and Broad podcast hosted by Jeanette Nolan.